CNN.com. David, first of all, as someone who has advised for presidents, you say that clearly we need a change in our culture, the culture of guns and gun policy, and you say that in order to honor the dead, you've got to have some kind of action. What is the most important thing right now for the president to do?
Seize the moment. The opinion in the country now has shifted in favor of gun safety. We have majorities in two polls, CBS and Washington Post, ABC, now saying that we really need stricter laws, stricter enforcement, and that's a pretty big shift. As you know, opinion has been shifting away toward more people having guns and toward the whole idea of, well, the way to solve this problem is if everybody has a gun, you can stop the shooter. Well, of course, that just doubles down on the problem. And we have a culture in which guns are much more available to young people under that approach. Go ahead, please.
And David, of course, you know that the president can't do it alone. He needs the cooperation of Congress. You say there are three basic principles that should guide our gun policies. First, you say you must have a license to own a gun, and that the license should not be easy to get. So how difficult should it be? What would be your parameters?
Well, I think the permit system now is full of holes. It's determined at the state level, and we have very, very uneven laws. And as you know, Suzanne, the permit system just is a background check, in effect, in a waiting period. That's all very helpful. It doesn't really get into whether you know how to use a gun, whether the kinds of things we do to license people to drive. Cars are dangerous, but we let people drive after they get a license once they can prove to us that they know how to handle it. And the same thing should be true of guns. We should have a strict licensure approach so we know who has the gun. And then you can make adjustments. You know, with modern technology, you could put in effect a password on a gun so that if someone picks up your iPad and they don't know your password, they can't get into your iPad. The same thing is true of guns. If you put a password on a gun, and so someone like Adam didn't have the password, he wouldn't be able to use it. So if you license the mother and then made sure that he didn't have access, we might not have had all these dead kids.
And you say, second, if you're a civilian, you can't buy an assault gun. And there are a lot of folks who answer that and say, well, I'm a hunter, I want to protect my home, and I want a weapon here. There are people today who are furious over, you have Dick's Sporting Goods shop that's now saying that they're not going to sell these assault weapons across the country, and tweets that are coming out here, David. I want you to take a look at this. Chris 1024 tweeting, "This makes me not want to shop at Dick's." Another one saying, "I just called Dick's to cancel my reward zone membership. Told the guy on the phone that if I receive another piece of literature in the mail from them, I will sue them." I mean, people, how do you respond to that kind of outrage, to that kind of anger? People feel like they should be permitted to have those weapons.
You and I have been around enough on the internet to know that if Jesus Christ appeared and gave another Sermon on the Mount, there'd be some people who would attack and express fury about some aspect of it. So, you're going to have that. There's going to be noise in the system. I think the question for political figures, the question for the nation is, what's the morally right thing to do? And if we don't act now, given what we know about the deaths of these children, and we enable the next person to come along, the next loner who's mentally deranged, to come along and shoot a bunch of kids, we're going to have blood on our own hands. We will have moral responsibility. We will be enablers if we don't act. So I think the moment is here. I understand the politics of it. I know the politics are rough as a cob. Democrats felt when they passed an assault weapons ban and a Brady bill way back in 1994, when Bill Clinton was president, they thought they lost the House of Representatives in large part because of that. And so they've been very nervous about it ever since. But that's what leadership is about. It is about seizing the moment when it's there, and moving us to a different way to live. And I think you find, and my argument in this piece on CNN.com was, you have to find meaning in terrible horrors like this. And what we learned from Lincoln was, when he went on the Gettysburg Address, he didn't just talk about the people in the battlefield. He said words are too little. We have to give new meaning to our national life. And that's the kind of leadership we need. We'll
see if, in fact, they've got the political courage to do that in this administration. Thank you.